General Student Council, enjoy your lunch. There's not going to be a meeting today. Keep that in mind. Yep.
Our short story competition closes on Wednesday, so everyone should turn in a short story.
MUN went over to Berkeley Model United Nations over the weekend, and it was a great time. And thank you to our chaperones, Dr. J and Mr. Daniel.
Over the past 8 days, York students seized control of the Indian Ocean for the East India Trading Company, participated as a minority Democrat in a Republican-controlled Senate, passed resolutions regarding mercenaries, food safety in Africa, and they legalized Malawi gold, the best form of marijuana, also the most expensive. And we actually got from York a commendation. It's the only award we got from York this year, and in a huge committee, this is really amazing to get for such a small school. Tom Liu, please come. Where's Tom? It's not here. All right. But he was a member of the press corps, and they went around to all the different committees, reported on them, and the article that he wrote was in the front of the entire magazine.
Okay. Also, tomorrow, room 4 at lunch, because it's D-Day, there will be a MUN meeting, and at this meeting we'll be doing short head-to-head spar debates, which have really interesting topics. You guys should all come because it'll be quick, fast, and really fun.
It doesn't matter if you're not an MUN, this is for everybody.
Some of the topics we have include Apple versus Android.
Should the drinking age be lowered from 21?
Should euthanasia be legalized?
People-sized spiders or spider-sized people?
Does religion do more harm than good?
And should Santa's elves be paid minimum wage? Please come.
So when I was up at the York Vans, I found this gold-colored necklace. It has a small star, and I thought it was precious. So if anyone knows who this is, or if anyone knows who this is, or if it's yours, please come see me afterwards, and I'll be sure to give it to you.
Over the years, throughout history, we've seen nations colonize other nations. They've brought things like civilization and religion, which usually begets genocide, which is absolutely awful. So we're going to turn that into a game and have a good old time playing Settlers of Catan. I don't care how it's pronounced, that's how I pronounce it. I'm a physics room.
Hey guys, just a quick reminder that the sign-up sheet for the talent show is still behind the office, so please sign up.
We do have some sign-ups, but not nearly enough, so please, even if you're not 100% sure exactly what your act is going to be, please put your name up so we have a rough idea of how many people we're going to have. And you have all of spring to work on it, so start thinking.
When is the talent show?
March 31st. So
Okay, thank you.
you have lots of time to come up with an idea, but it would be really great if we knew how many people are interested, so put your name up. Thank you.
Anyone interested in doing arts and crafts over spring break, please go see.
No.
It'll count as in-house service. Not service, community hours.
With softball season coming up, we do kind of hit to the left field where you guys park your cars. So if you could park in the gravel area, you can keep your car safe from softballs.
All right, so if you want to have an impact on student life, you can think about running for student body office. So we're making an announcement now because very soon after spring break, you're going to have to declare your intent to run for student body office. So here are some of the offices. So president, so if you like doing this, quieting everyone down. Okay, you have to be currently at least, you have to be an 11th grader to run for president. All right, vice president, if you'd like to stand next to the person. What's the other stuff? Okay, you must be in grade 10 or 11 to run for vice president. Student body treasurers, so if you're into money, right, you can be a 9th, 10th, or 11th grader actually to run for treasurer. The student rep to the board of trustees, so if you like long meetings, you can run for that. Okay, and you must be a 10th or 11th grader to run for student rep to the board. Okay, activities coordinators, and normally you have 2 people running for activities coordinators, so they, run the student activities. Tech officer, and student activities, you can be 9th, 10th, or 11th grade to run for activities coordinators. Tech officers, so maintain the displays, speakers and lights for dances. That you could be 9th, 10th, or an 11th grader to be tech officers. And lastly, secretary, so if you're really great at taking notes, that's secretary, and you could be 9th, 10th, or 11th grade. Okay, so think about that, running for a student body office, over break, and then soon after you're gonna have to declare your intent to run, and then you gotta submit your name for approval, all right? And yeah, grab a clipboard and run for student body office.
When I was 13, I was already heavily invested in swimming and had been competitively swimming since age 6. I'd heard of the Escape from Alcatraz swim before, but I'd never thought of signing up because of how intimidating San Francisco Bay was. I decided to sign up anyway and set a goal for myself to finish in the top 3 of my age group, which was 13 to 15. As that event drew closer, I began to get nervous and think about all the possible scenarios that could go wrong, and a lot could. At 5 a.m. the morning of that race, I was dropped off at Pier 39 in San Francisco by my parents with just my timing chip, wetsuit, and goggles. When I boarded the ferry, I was very quiet and nervous, and when it came time to jump off, I grabbed all my gear and I walked towards the exit door. Somehow I ended up near the front with all the seasoned swimmers who had done this swim multiple times, and I couldn't find a way to get away. When that fateful alarm sounded, hundreds of people shoved their way through a small door opening into the bay and started swimming towards shore. For most of that 45-minute race, I spaced out and relied on my training and some luck to arrive at the finish. That year I finished 9th overall and 2nd in my age group. Summer of 2015 would be my 2nd straight year to do this, and along with me, my 9-year-old sister decided to sign up with me. And it was up to me to make sure I taught her everything I know about open water swimming, and this open water swim in particular. She would be the second youngest competitor of all time to finish this. That is, if she finished it. That year I finished 7th overall and still 2nd in my age group, but the big excitement was when my sister arrived on shore and I sprinted with her through the finish line. It was an amazing feeling to know that I not only taught her how to swim this event, but how to finish 2nd in her 12 and under age group. The summer of 2016 came along, and this would be my 3rd straight year to compete in this. A member from my club swim team has won this event 6 years in a row, and I felt the pressure was on me not just to win in my age group, but to win the event overall. That year on the ferry, instead of contemplating all the possible things that could go badly, I was silent, trapped in my own thoughts, and trying to pump myself up. When it came time to jump, I jumped and immediately went into autopilot. For the majority of that race, though, I was separate from the pack, all alone in my little island, and I didn't know if I was doing well or not. And it wasn't until the last 200 yards that I knew I was a contender for first. I put my head down, kicked harder than I ever had before, and pushed myself to my limit until I was at his feet with only 50 yards to go. Our hands eventually touched sand, and we ran the final 100 yards to the finish. I passed him and won first place overall. Everything had come full circle. I was first a beginner, then a teacher, then a winner. I started as never having swum open water before, to teaching a 4th grader how to winning the most iconic open water swim in history, the Escape from Alcatraz. I learned from this experience that keeping doubt out of your mind, being positive, and setting goals for yourself is truly a recipe for success. I hope to keep going with open water swimming and passing on to future generations my experiences to help them succeed within themselves.
That put out of my mind why I'm here. Okay, so first of all, this weekend, I hope that everybody had a chance to see the wonderful play that happened this weekend. So much hard work, and you know, this quote is attributed to dozens, if not hundreds, of people. Dying is easy, comedy is hard. And comedy, unless you've done it, comedy is so hard to do, and these guys made it look effortless. They were so funny. My cheeks were hurting for hours afterwards after I saw it. So I just laughed and laughed. So thank you so much to this whole crew, to Mrs. Reese, to her, excuse me, to her actors, to her backstage crew, to her house crew, to everybody, lights and sound. You guys were just terrific, and you really exemplified some of the best of York. So thank you so, so much for that. It was really great. In addition to saying thank you, I wanted to let you know that tomorrow's PATH group will be small group PATH meetings. And there are going to be 2 topics. One is going to be about engaging in conversations, as we've been doing, but with a slightly different focus this time. But the first thing we're going to work to accomplish is getting ourselves organized within our PATH groups for this wonderful activity that we do, that some folks have been working on setting up, and they will give us lots more information. But this is the rice and beans packaging activity and the bag lunch making activity. So pretty much our PATH groups are reversed, so if you were one who did a rice and bean bagging activity last year, you'll be making sandwiches this year. So tomorrow we'll get a chance to sign up for all of that. If you are a bag lunch person, you'll be signing up for what you are volunteering to bring to create those bag lunches. A loaf of bread, some chips, some juices, and some fruits. And if you are in the rice and bean group, we're going to be asking for you, instead of making a donation of food stuff, to make a donation of cash so that we can buy the rice and beans. So it doesn't have to be a lot. If you can bring in, even tomorrow, if you can remember to do this, $3, $5 more if you want to. The more money we have, obviously, the more rice and beans we can get for people in the county who really need some good, nutritious food. I didn't put this down, but Mrs. Berry has asked me to remind you that when you volunteer for whatever bag lunch piece you're going to bring, could you write it down so that you remember what it is? All right, so that will be fun, and we'll actually do the bagging on the bagging and making on April 27th, and we'll just get out to the sunny commons. Sorry? 17th, April 17th, right. I knew there was a 7 in it. And we'll get together and we'll do that, and we'll have a lot of fun. Okay, thanks.
Course planning, makeup meeting today at 3 o'clock in the theater from 3 to 3:30. Look forward to seeing you there. Thank you. All right, goes class.